Perfect. Okay, I'm going to share this PDF where you'll get this PDF. Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a project for trainee. Okay, so the objective is here. Okay, to facilitate the process of management of training. Okay, to provide software for managing trainee registration and maintaining the record. So we're going to create a database which will maintain the training registrations and the records. Okay. So when you keep scrolling, okay, so this is called data flow diagrams, DFDs. This tells us how you guys must have done it in. If you have not done it, you'll be doing it in a software engineering subject. Okay, in software engineering, okay, we talk about how to plan any software. So before you actually start coding, you have to do the designing, the planning part, right? So planning part is done. Okay, and so planning is so good that if you look at this document, you will know exactly what you want to code. Okay, so you will not have any problem as such in designing or writing the code. Okay, see, if I tell you to do the code, you don't know how many classes, how many tables, how many objects, how many columns, all those things you won't know. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to create this different design documents so that all our doubts are clear, and by looking at it you would be able to design any software. Okay, so here if you see, it's called context level diagram. So here you have attend training is a software. Okay, so this round circle talks about the system. Okay, so it's a database basically. Okay, so system is a software, and there are two type of people, okay, who will be working with it. One, trainee and the trainee. Okay, and what we do is trainee gives details and trainee will take the certificate. Of course, once the completion happens, you take the certificate. Okay, so this is called context level. So now slowly we are breaking this down into segments and subsegments. Now DFDs are useful for the application design. Okay, so if you want to develop a mini project for Python UI or application related, you could do that. Okay, but our objective is to design the backend, the database. Database is also called backend. Okay, we won't see the result. Okay, we don't see the data. Okay, only the backend, the database will have lots of results. In fact, all the information is stored there, right? Depending upon what you want and how much access you have, you will get the information. Okay, so this is not useful for this project, but this is good to know what all these are. Okay, so it means now we're going to first level. So first level means this big round that you have, we are trying to break this into different modules. So we are breaking this into 4 modules. One module is Enquiry of Training. Okay, so the user will make an inquiry what trainings you have, then registration to the site, then you attend the training, and then fill feedback. Okay, after filling feedback, you get a certificate, right? So these are the 4 modules within this. Then called second level diagram. So in all these modules are again, it's like, you're looking at a 50,000 feet view, then you're going to 40,000, 20,000, 10,000, slowly you're going down. So each of those modules are now breaking down into sub modules. Okay, so 2 is what registration. So here registration are of 2 or 3 process, like file or fill registration form, then pay fee, and then issue ID. So if you pay the fee, you'll get an ID. Okay, then you have attend lectures. That is for sorry. Oops. Yeah. Okay. So this is 3.1, 3.2. Then you can have even third level diagrams. 3.2 is broken down into 4 parts. So depending upon the complexity, you can go level. So if you're talking about 3.2.1.1, see 3.2.1 is third level. Context level is at high level. Then when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, those are first level diagram. 1.2, 2.1, 2.2, that becomes second level diagram. 3.2.1, there are 3 numbers here, so third level. Let's say 3.2.1 also you want to divide into multiple parts. It becomes 3.2.1.1, 0.2, 0.3, so on. That will be level 4. Okay. This is our hardware requirements. Okay. This is context level diagram. That's fine. This is good to know. Okay. We are not getting into these things. we'll go to our ER diagram. Okay, so this is called ER diagram, right? This is our ER diagram. The ER diagram, okay, talks about the database design. Okay, it's a context level diagram. The DFDs, data flow diagrams, are for designing the UI and the application. Okay, now we are focusing on what is called as ER diagram, entity relationship diagram, and this is useful for creating our database backend. Okay, so we need to learn to read this. Okay, so see here, all these rectangle boxes that you see, that would get converted into tables. Okay, so here you have a user table. Okay, all the rectangle ones. Okay, okay, so we do have few of this. So let's take a screenshot of this and we'll talk about it. So see this, listen carefully, because you will have to do this. This is a project. Okay, so this is the project that you'll have to do it. Okay, so JGP student and Shivam, like you will have to do this. Where's the mouse? One second, guys. Oh, not responding. Just give me, it's not responding. Give me a few seconds. Okay, so we'll learn how to read ER diagram, and then I'll show you how to create table. Okay, and you need to either install your SQLite 3 or MySQL. Okay, install anything. Okay, I'm not restricting, but in the note, yes.
So will you send the link like how to install my?
I will do that. I will do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay. So I will send the link only for MySQL and SQLite. Sure. Okay. So you can use MySQL or SQLite, or you can use anything. If you have already, if you already have some database installed, you can do those database as well. Okay. You think, yeah, it has come out. Where it goes here. Oops. Okay, so see here. So you have, yeah. Okay, so this is a table. Okay, it's called course faculty. Course faculty will become a table. Okay, all the rectangle ones are tables. User is a table. Employee is a table. Okay, transport is a table. Amount is a table. Okay, training is a table. Okay, trainee is a table. Okay, hostel entry. Okay, hostel entry is a table. Feedback is a table. So all the rectangles that you will see in this document is your table. Okay, one. All these ellipses that you see, these are called columns. So course faculty, COUFAC table name has how many columns?
8, sir.
8. Can you name them?
Just 6, I think.
Name them. We'll see how many.
Year, department, faculty, faculty name. Okay, 4 only. Yeah.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah, it has only 4. Okay, year, department, faculty ID, and faculty name. Okay, so these are your columns. Okay, here department, faculty ID, and faculty name. Okay, here there's nothing. There's no column underlined. So here it does not have a primary key. Okay. Okay. Now, second thing is you see this has, right? So has is we call them rhombus, right? Rhombus sign. Rhombus sign talks about the relationship. Okay. So whenever we see relationship, we should hear the word what is called as that means course, faculty, and user, they are connected. Okay, and how are they connected? We in ER diagram only we say has, or so you say user has course faculty. Okay, or course faculty has user. It could be either way. Okay. Now we see here double underscore and single underscore. This is called total participation. Double line that you see here is called total participation. Okay, double line is called total participation. Total participation means, okay, course faculty, faculty name, ID, all of these will be part of user, but all user will not be part of course faculty. Okay, not all entities are involved in the relationship. Okay, partial means not all, but when you see double underscore, that means all of them. Each entity is involved in the relationship here. Okay. Okay, so these will be helpful to decide where the foreign key will be added, should be added. Okay, now here you have employee. Employee has how many columns? Employee ID, primary key, employee name, post.
5, sir.
Yeah, 5, contact number and address. Then here the user, okay, you see user has this double bar, double line. What does double line indicate?
I think R.
R means?
R.
You may be right. What does R mean? Yes? No, you said R, right? I just want to know what does R mean. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this means, okay, the one-to-many relationship.
Okay.
Okay, so when you
Okay,
see here,
So what relationship?
yeah. So it is one-to-many.
So what relationship?
One-to-many. So I'm going to say that. See, employee has user. That's what it means. Okay. Now all of the employees, okay, all of these employees, okay, will be linked to the user, right? So you have this faculty ID, right? Employee ID, faculty ID. Okay. So you treat this as a table, okay, which has both faculty and the employee. So user is linked to faculty, course faculty, and employee. Okay, so all the employee will be a user. All course faculty will be a user, but user will not be an employee, or so user can belong to course faculty and employee. Did you get it? So course faculty will have the faculty IDs, employee will have the employee details. Okay, and the user is a table which is linked to both course faculty and employee. So that's why here you don't have employee name, you don't have employee ID, you have faculty ID and employee ID. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
okay, so now you tell me, where will you create the foreign key? Foreign key for user and employee will be it in user or in the employee? Okay, so see, if you remove user, it becomes many to many. So user is added to break that many to many into one to many and many to one. So here what we will do is, okay, I'm going to show you an example. Okay, we'll do this example itself. So we will create a table employee, we will create a table course faculty, and then we'll create a table user which will have the employee ID and faculty ID. So employee ID and faculty ID has become the foreign key. So ER diagram, okay, will not give you any doubt. Okay, as you know, ER diagram is given, you know, exactly same way you have to create. Now you see employee ID and faculty ID. So these two are foreign key. Here these are primary key. Faculty ID will be primary key. It's not marked, but you can do that. Okay, employee ID will be the primary key, and you can say user. Okay, user will extend your faculty, course faculty and employee table. Did you get it?
Yes, sir.
So can you please repeat the last part?
Correct. So user is a table which is connecting course faculty and employee table. So see, user has three columns: employee ID, faculty ID, and password. Okay. So either employee ID will be there or faculty ID will be there. Both will not be there. Okay, and you have password. So employee ID should be linked to course faculty, the employee ID. So first data will go into employee ID. And let's say if you add an employee Sachin with employee ID 101, after you add Sachin 101 only, you will be able to add employee ID 101 here. And then you say that it is linked to this. Now I want to know, so if I want to know the password of employee ID 101, so I have to connect through this table and get the password. Isn't it? Yes, no, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So similarly, you have transport, amount. So see, transport is linked to training. Training is linked to course faculty. Okay. Trainee is linked to training. Okay. I'll show you how to create this first three table, and on similar way, you should be able to create other table. Is that fine?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So let me quickly move on. See, I don't have MySQL on this laptop. What I'll do is I'll use Sqlite. Okay. Okay. And yeah, so that should be good enough. 1 second. Let me open this. I'm going to open jump. Okay, okay, it is anyway there, so I can use it. You can either use MySQL or you can use Sqlite. Okay, and you will need to have. I'll send you the link. Okay, you can install a UI which will help you to connect to the database directly, right? Okay. So I'm going to create, say, I'll call it as training DB, right? So I'm going to create this. Okay, ignore all these guys. Okay, you can directly, I'll give you the link of how to install that. Just like you have those SQL Plus for Oracle, you'll have a browser through which you can connect and you can use it. Okay, so for here, okay, so this is Sqlite.connect I'm using because I have only Python, so this is why I'm using this. Okay, now I'm going to say cursor obj equal to cursor, right? And now I'm going to use here cursor object execute. Okay, execute query Q1. I'll call it as Q1. Okay, and this is it. I'm going to define Q1 here. So I'm going to create first table. So what is the command for create table? You say create table name. So what is the table name here? Let's create employee table. So create table employee. Okay, so this is the command. Create table employee. Okay. Now employee or employees, generally they'll, okay, S is not there. Okay, so create table employee. Now you put bracket open and bracket close. Okay, so guys, this for Python it is just a it's just a string. Okay, so don't worry about it. For us, we are focusing only on the SQL query. This is the SQL syntax: create table employee. Okay, and now I have to give the column names. So what are the column names? Employee ID, EMPID, EMPNAME. Okay, generally same words we use. Okay, don't change the column names. Whatever it has given in the ER diagram, same thing you will be using. Okay, and this is case insensitive. So whether I give all small or all capital doesn't really matter, right? So employee EMPID, EMPNAME, post contact number address, post contact number, and you have address, right? So now address will be your data type, VARCHAR. Okay. So yeah, we need to understand what VARCHAR, what are different data types in SQL, right? Okay, wait, talk about that as well. Okay, so I'm on this military school. These are the different data types. Okay, so character, it's a fixed length character. Okay, so if I give 10, okay, so it will fix 10 places for character, and if my value is only 8 character, the rest 2 on the right side will be blank. Okay, so generally we don't use character, right? Because our texts are not fixed. Address, for example, someone will have address at 100 characters, some will have 200 characters, right? So we don't have to fix it. Okay, so generally let's say account number, those probably will be fixed. It's better to use. VARCHAR stands for variable character. Okay, and this is what I'm going to use. I'm going to use address VARCHAR and then the size. Okay, so maximum you can store is 50 characters. Contact number. Contact number can be integer, float, or anyway we are not doing addition subtraction, right? So we can even give, or here you can give CHAR, because CHAR, our mobile numbers are 10 digits, isn't it? So I can say 10. Okay. Now post will definitely be VARCHAR, and I'm going to say VARCHAR 15. Let's say EMPNAME VARCHAR. I'll put 15 here. EMPID can be VARCHAR or CHAR 10, right? Because IDs are also fixed. So let's say we put EMP 4 digits. So you'll have 4-digit number. Okay, and all those columns will have comma, comma to indicate. Now we're going to execute it. So let's execute and see. So this is our table is created. Oh, there's an error. What is the error? Oh, last one will not have comma, right? Right? So successfully table created. If I have to run it again, you get error because table already exists. So if you want to drop the so if you want to delete the table, let's say you made mistake and you want to recreate it. So you have to say drop table name. So drop table employee and then again create. Okay. Or you have something called as if exists. So that means if it is exist, it will not create. If it doesn't exist, it will create. Okay. So when you're doing for the first time, doesn't matter. So you can directly say create table employee. Okay. Let me open our document where we are tracking everything. SQL, right? First of all. Okay, so today is 12th November, right? Okay, fine. So 12th November, we are doing create table. Okay? So created a table employee, and this is how you would create employee table. You can put them in one line, also not a problem. But generally, this is how we put it so that it is easy to read. Okay, create table employee and employee ID, character 4, employee name, post char, all this good. Now we need to create table 2, isn't it? So what I'll do is I will rename as Q2 and I'll create Q1. Okay, so Q1 is table. Where is that? Yeah, so we'll create COUFAC. Okay, you know why we are doing COUFAC, right? Not other one first. Why we are not doing user first? Because user links both of these. Okay, user is related. That's why you see here double line here. A double line here means this is main table, and this is derived from this table. Okay, so now we have faculty ID, faculty name, department. This is spelling complete faculty, right? Faculty ID, faculty name, okay, department and year. Department and okay, we made a mistake here. Mistake is we haven't created the primary key, isn't it? We have to create primary key, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
yes, one option is since it is empty, I'm going to delete it, or you don't have to delete, you can even say alter. Okay, but what I'm going to do now, I'm going to drop the table.
Was the primary key?
Sorry, you're saying something, Shivam? Yes.
Like What will be the primary key here?
No, that's what I'm saying. We have not added. So we made a mistake. So what we'll do is we will drop table employee. Okay, we'll drop table employee. So drop table employee. This will drop the table employee. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this table is dropped. Okay, I'll rename it as Q3 so that it is not executed. We'll go up again. We'll create employee again. I'm going to call this as Q1. Create table. Create table and the primary key, right? So see, there are two ways. One, you can do it here itself. Primary space key. Okay. Or we can add here and we can say primary key bracket open faculty ID. Okay, both this way is acceptable. First you add all the columns and then you say primary key faculty ID, or you directly say that faculty ID is primary key. So let's run it. Our employee is done. So I'm going to change it to Q2. Now we'll go back to our this table Q1. We call it as Q1, and this is what? This is our COUFAC, right? COUFAC. That's the name. And then you have here faculty ID. Did I? Oh no.
So, like, may I know what's the proper use of primary key?
Yes. So primary key, I think I told you, is to uniquely identify a row, right? You will have multiple rows. Now, if I want to pick a specific row, right? So yesterday when we were doing it, right, we had HR employees. Okay, and you can have many people with name David. Correct? So how do you know which David to call? So there has to be one column which will be unique. And that column is called as primary key. Means you cannot. So primary key is a constraint. So when you define something as primary key, when I define something as primary key, it means that I cannot leave that field blank, null value. Okay. And second thing is I cannot give duplicate value in that. It has to have a value and the value has to be unique. So employee ID, student ID, roll number, these are all primary key. Okay, so if I have to find Shivam, there might be 3 Shivam in the whole university, right? Which Shivam to call? So I'll say Shivam with roll number so and so. So roll number cannot be duplicate, right? Every student will have a roll number. So that's why I'll define primary key. So when I'm trying to access a specific value, primary key will help me. Okay. And second thing is when we talk about indexes, we'll talk about it. Primary key will have indexes automatically created, which again makes our job easier, faster. Yes? Did you get it? It is like your chapter number, page number. Page number is unique. So I need, but you go to page number so and so, you know, you won't have 2 same page number. Did you get Shivam? I can't hear you. Is my voice breaking or your voice breaking?
Having a very bad network.
Who? Me or you?
Sir, mine.
Today is yours. Okay.
My network is bad.
Okay. So primary
watch the
key,
video and I'll then
yeah, sure. Yeah. So primary key is something that helps us to uniquely identify the value. Like yesterday we did the employee table, chart employee table, right? So it had employee ID. Okay. So when you define something as primary key, it has to be unique and it has to be not null. You cannot leave it blank and cannot give a duplicate value. Okay. Okay, so I made a mistake, carelessness. You guys should have told me this is fax sum, not employee. Employee is here, right? This is employee. Okay, and here, of course, this is also primary key, so not a problem. Okay, and this here again, I'll say primary key. Fine, this is good. Now, delete address. Okay. 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 So what I'll do first, I will run this as Q1 and
Sir, change table name employee to COUFAC.
oh yes, that's right. Yes, I like attentive students. Okay, that, but my system is hanged. I don't know. Sometimes my system is slow. That's why sometimes I get late. Okay. So what I'll do is I will remove this. This is COUFAC, right? COUFAC. And top one is employee. This is correct. So I call it as Q1, Q2, and Q3, right? So when I'm executing, I can do all because employee is already created, right? So I'll run Q3 first, and then I will run Q1 and Q2. Q2, Q1. Okay, so end of this, I should have my tables created. Perfect, I have my tables created. Okay, now important thing, we have to create the fourth table, right? Sorry, third table. So I'll say Q4, and the fourth table is the table which is common. Okay, so create table user, and what are the columns it has? It will definitely have faculty ID. What's the spelling? Faculty ID.
Employee ID.
Password.
Faculty EMPID password. Good. Anything else it has? No. Right?
No,
so
sir.
we don't need it. If you want, you can put some ID, okay, as a primary key. Okay, I would say count ID or something. Not required. It's not given means we will not be using it anywhere. So you can or you don't give, that's also fine. So I'm going to say int, I'm going to say primary key, right? So this is good. Password.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, faculty ID is primary key in that diagram, sir.
In faculty ID is primary key. Okay, here also, right? Yeah, I missed that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so then this is not required, right? EMPID, and see, since these are linked, we should use exact same values. Okay, data type should be exact same data type. Then only it will be able to link it. Okay, so we created table user. Now what we have to do is we have to create foreign key references. Okay, how do we create foreign key references? Okay, so you say foreign key. Okay, foreign key, which column? Foreign key faculty ID. Faculty ID references. Okay, references, which table and which column? Faculty. No. COUFAC.
COUFAC table, sir.
Right? And?
Yes. Faculty column.
Correct. Faculty ID, right? References, COUFAC,
Yes, sir.
faculty. Then another one. Okay. see here. Okay, doesn't matter.
Employee and EMPID, sir.
No, I'm thinking. Okay. So this is EMPID. Okay, this is also EMPID. And this is employee. Okay. And other day I fixed it, so Q4 should work. Otherwise, we'll have the same problem, error, right? Which is there in that. Oops. Okay. So there's a syntax error, and I should not have said comma here. Okay. So it has executed. Okay. So see, if you have problem, you have to change the setting that we discussed earlier. So SQLite may not allow this to foreign key at the same time. So you need to change the setting. If you change the setting, this should work fine. Okay. So now we have our 3 tables. Okay. We have our 3 tables. Okay. What do we do after creating 3 tables, guys? What should we do next?
Sir, inserting into it.
Yes, we
Values.
need to have some values, right? We need to have some value into it. Otherwise, how will you perform anything? How will you perform read? So we need to create. Okay, so we need to insert some value here. Okay, so I'm going to say Q5 equal to insert into employee. Okay, and insert into employee, you give all the column names. What are the column names in the employee? Okay.
EMPID,
Yes.
EMPNAME,
Yes.
post,
Yes.
and address, count number.
Contact number. And
Contact number and address.
yes. Okay. So this is done. Okay. Now we have to add the values, right? So space values and add the values. The values are employee ID. I'll give 4 characters, right? So 1011001, comma. Okay. So we gave that character. It should be character. Okay. If it's character, you have to give as this, isn't it? So try not to give character for primary key. Okay. When you're doing it, make it integer better. Don't do character. Okay. Primary keys, the numbers are faster to perform, greater than, less than, all those operators that we saw yesterday. Okay. Numbers are faster. Text are not that fast. So if you want to make your program faster, always have primary key as numbers as primary keys. Okay. Then let's say employee, I add Sachin. Okay. Okay. And here in SQL, we'll accept only single quotation, not double quotation like Python. Okay. Here, text will only have single quotation. Sachin post, let's say I put as ops head, something like this. Then I'm going to say address house number 1 Mumbai, let's say, something like that. Right? So
Sir, contact number.
oh yes. Contact number also I gave as VARCHAR, right? Are all VARCHAR? Let's check again. Just to be double sure. Char VARCHAR, right? Yes. Contact number is a character 10. So okay, in the same order, right? So contact number is before address. So you have to add it before address. Here I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Okay. Now you run it. Oh, table user already exists. Who's creating? Here Q5, right? Okay. So Q5. Okay, done. So remember, what did I tell you? We are doing insert, update, delete. See, when you're creating a table, that will be permanently saved. But insert, update, delete are not permanently saved. So before this, you have to say con.commit. After executing, we have to commit it. Okay, and create table not required. Okay, it's better you do it for create table also, but create table doesn't need it. But insert, update, okay, will need it. So you say con commit. So when I run it, it is saved. And next time when I run it, it will save that integrity violation, integrity error, unique constraint failed, employee ID, employee.employee ID is not unique. You're trying to insert another value. So I can say 102, say Ravi, and I can say ML faculty, something like this. Okay, so this is employee, right? So yeah, I'll say faculty. Okay, number, you change it. Okay. Okay. So your employee ID, second employee is also added. Similarly, add for other two tables also. Create and save that insert. Okay. When you're doing it, all the query, please save it. Okay. So I'm going to save this query. This document. Okay. Similarly, add. Okay, similarly, create other tables and add data to all the tables. At least 5 data. At least 5 rows. Okay. It will take you some time, but it will also make you practice, right? Okay, so this is done. Now going back to our discussion. So yeah, directors and all these things are there. Okay, so see, all this is, it has also told you. Okay, now see, it has a column number also, column name also, type also. Okay, here it should be int, other should be your VARCHAR. Okay, good. So you have the column names, you create tables like this. Okay, now we should be able to, okay, so this is okay, so this is one such project. Okay, this is another project. I wanted to see the reports. Okay, if you want, you try only the first one, and then what I, okay, maybe by next week you create this table, and next week I'll give you some questions. Okay, I want top customer, I want, you know, this, that. So as we learn more and more select, you'll be able to perform that. Okay, so for now, this is good enough. And if you want to practice more, you can create other tables also. Is it good?
Sir?
Yes.
The references is which you have given, no, sir?
References?
References, yes, sir.
Yes.
Should we give for all the tables that references only for
as per the ER diagram?
Yes, sir. Link between
yes.
Okay, sir.
Okay, because I'll ask you, for example, I'll show you the table and I'll tell you what I want.
Okay, sir.
That's why I wanted some ready-made. Okay? Creating will take some time. Okay, so for example, if you see here, you have trainee. Okay, so trainee has trainee name. Okay, I will ask you, tell me the password for the faculty who has Soumya as a trainee. Okay, so trainee name is here, email ID is here, trainee is linked to training, training is linked to course faculty, course is linked to user. So I want faculty name, or I want the faculty password who is teaching? Soumya. So for this, I have to go through all these 4 tables. I directly link user to trainee, but I have to link user to course faculty to training, 10 to trainee. So where will be where trainee F name or trainee name? Okay, name. Okay, where I want user dot password. So I'll say select user dot pwd. Okay, from you have to mention all the tables which are linked. I cannot say from user because where clause has name from trainee. So I have to say from user, comma, course faculty, comma, training, comma, trainee, where trainee name equal to Soumya. Okay. So that is mandatory, but I have added these 4 tables. How do all these 4 tables get linked? I will tell you that in the next class. So there will be 4 such this one. So I can go from any table to any time, any table. So that's why please have that references. Okay. Looking at the table, you should get the idea about where references should be there. Okay. If you don't create that references, you won't be able to link the tables. Right?
Okay, sir.
Yes. So yes, practice this for this week and we'll see you on Thursday. Is that okay? We'll do more select thing on
Yes, sir.
next Thursday.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, everyone. Have a good evening ahead and talk to you soon.
Bye, sir.
Bye.